So, it's time to give you what you came here for. Harry Potter. Yep, years ago, actress Emma Watson split with JK Rowling over the author's views on trans. If you recall, Rowling got attacked for saying the girls' locker room at Hogwarts shouldn't have dudes waving around their magic wands. And while she got death threats, the actors she made rich piled on. But now Emma wants peace.
I can love her. I can know she loved me. I can be grateful to her. I can know the things that she said are true. And that can be this whole other thing. It's my deepest wish that I hope people who don't agree with my opinion will love me, and I hope I can keep loving people who I don't necessarily share the same opinion with.
That's how you know radical trans nonsense is going the way of Joy Reid's career. When Hollywood big mouths suddenly want to be reasonable. No wonder the ancient Greeks considered their profession even lower than telemarketers. But Rowling took that olive branch and used it to smack Emma upside her head. To her, Emma is only coming out because it isn't fashionable anymore. So she's changing her tune like a schizophrenic at karaoke. Remember, Rowling was smeared as anti-trans back when that was as unsafe as having unprotected sex with Hunter Biden. But JK stood her ground, while the cast of the franchise she created trashed her. Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, Ron Weasley. They all rode her coattails, making unimaginable wealth at a young age. And when Rowling could have used their support, they chose the mob instead. They had a chance to show the courage of the characters they played, but instead, they sided with the bad guys. Rowling faced death threats, cancellation, endless outrage. But now the culture's changed. DEI is dead. Rosie's gone. Even the dumbest Democrats agree women's sports are for women. What are they going to tell us next? That jock straps are for men? So Emma wants back in, but Rowling is telling her to take her broomstick and shove it, claiming Watson has so little experience of real life that she's ignorant of how ignorant she is. Nice, huh? And it's true. Emma's a pampered, white, liberal actress who never had to experience any of the things that normal women go through. You know, like failing a driving and math test all on the same day.
A sexist would say.
As Rowling says, Watson will never need a homeless shelter, never need a public changing room, and her public bathroom is single use with a guard standing outside the door, just like Brett Baer's. Oh. And these stories are far too real for normal women. In Virginia, this ghoul exposed himself to girls in locker rooms because the law allowed him to, as long as he pretended he was a woman. And he's not exactly, you know, pulling it off. If this schmuck's passing for a chick, I'm Sydney Sweeney. And his name is literally Dick Cox. What more of a clue do you need? I mean, his name could have been I Have a Penis Jones. Anyway, in Minnesota, a trans softball pitcher struck out 27 female batters over 35 innings. How dare a man force his way into a sport reserved for hard-working lesbians? Next, they'll make a Subaru with a built-in urinal. But these masquerades don't just harm women, they also hurt lonely men. Just ask Sheriff Grady.
So you order up a prostitute, and that's what you think you're getting. Now, when you look at that, you go, wow, that's pretty rough, but, you know, any port in the storm. And then the next morning when you wake up, you find out this is who it really is. Yeah, we call that Coyote Ugly.
Yeah. Well, they used to call it that, now it's just Kathy Griffin. But that's real life, which Watson never experienced. She's a millionaire full of privilege, magazine covers, award shows. She probably even dated Leo DiCaprio. But she's 35, so if it happened, it was decades ago. But before fame, Rowling lived the life of the women that she's defending. She worked temp jobs, lived in poverty, divorced, depressed, denied by 12 publishers, rejected more times than Brian Kilmeade at a job fair. And she still wrote the most popular books ever. So Rowling isn't being bitter, she's being vindicated. And now Emma wants forgiveness? Sorry, Emma, you gave that up when you took the easy way out while others put their careers and their lives on the line. Rowling knows what it's like to share the risk. Her whole life was risk, and she never budged. Not for the left or the child actors who made bank off her. Hell, before Harry Potter, Hogwarts were just the bumps on Joy Behar's back. And the fact is, without Rowling, Emma would be misspelling my name on a Starbucks cup. Let's welcome... She talks so fast, her sentences end with a sonic boom. Outnumbered co-host Emily Camacho. He invented the scratch and sniff mugshot. Fox News contributor Paul Morrow. She already hung decorations for the government shutdown. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Cat And he invented time travel by knocking people into next week. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former Emily, I love JK Rowling. I know she's a hardcore liberal. She probably hates Fox News. I don't care. This is an issue where when you share the risk, you put yourself in danger. But the question I have for you is, should she forgive and not forget, or neither?
Ooh. Well, I feel like, as they say, when you don't forgive, it just sits inside of you and sort of corrodes the vessel. So forgive.
Does that feel good?
I don't think so. Not to most of us. So I think it would. I think generally speaking, forgiveness, so I'm told, sort of loosens the burden on your shoulders. I wouldn't know because I really don't forgive anyone. Again, I'm Sicilian, right? I will hate you for the rest of your life. But,
so that pit, you don't feel it because it's your entire body.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like a dead weight.
Yes.
But I think, being that she is an author and a really excellent one at that, I encourage everyone to read this letter she wrote in response to Emma because it just excoriates her in such a beautiful way. And she points out, which you've made this point, she's like, I'm sorry, when I was 14, I wasn't the multimillionaire you were. I was living in poverty, writing the book that made you famous.
Exactly.
And the lap of luxury that Emma enjoys, the privilege that she gets to go to single occupancy bathrooms, will never know what it's like to share a prison cell with a guy pretending to be a woman, to know what rape is, to know what being screwed out of a scholarship looks like, to get punched in the face with a male fist. It just, the list is so long. And I like that she put her in her place, but the reality too is that this privilege bubble that Emma has existed in for all these years allowed her to throw those Molotov cocktails at JK Rowling. We get all the time, ridiculous comments that hurt our feelings terribly. The volume that JK Rowling has gotten of death threats and rape threats and stalking threats, I don't think we can ever understand, because the millions, the multi-millions of people that had her in the middle of her target, let alone her professional sort of cancellation, an entire exhibit on Harry Potter in Seattle removed her name, the author's name from it. So I'm sure she has more grace in her body than I ever would, and she can forgive her. But I think from where I sit, a lot of these people deserve to sit in their own sort of shame forever over this.
When Paul, when I worked as a gardener, they used to call me Harry Potter. But you are in law enforcement. You're
I had to look at him for that one.
Yeah.
You're in law enforcement, and I think what's weighing on every man's mind is how often when you pick up a prostitute and you think it's a woman, it's a man. Is this a common thing?
That didn't occur to me.
No.
The reason, first, she's at war, that is, Rowling is at war with the entire cast of these movies. And the reason, I have a theory here, is because the entire cast looks like a 10-year-old boy, including Watson.
Yeah.
They all look the same. And the thing is, if you look at it, the thing is, she came from two major corporate lawyers. She's had privilege that you're talking about from birth. This one's never had a rough day in her life.
Yeah.
As Mark Twain said, your willingness to put up with a problem increases in direct proportion to your distance from it. And the other thing, too, here is that, and, you know, kind of proves that she's never had a rough day, is that it's not a good idea to engage in a war of words with a woman who has sold over 100 million books.
Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna lose, and she's losing this one bet. The only thing I will say about Rowling is, as you say, she is very left.
Yeah.
And there's an element here a little bit I can't help but go into. She's very courageous for doing what she's doing because she's put up with a lot. You're right, but you know, there's an element here of the far left, or even just hyper liberal, let's say, boomers. Created a lot of these Emma Watsons. And we're about to get one as the mayor of the city here in New York.
Good point.
They have grown up in this bubble. They've never had a rough day in their lives, and they're about to FAFO.
Yeah. I don't know what that stands for. I'll ask Dana after the
I'll
show.
be happy to tell you.
Yes. So, Kat, imagine if you expressed a position strongly, and I don't back you up. Not only do I not back you up, but I jump on the other side of with the haters. Me and Tyrus both do it.
Hey, man, leave me out of this.
Yeah, but then you end up vindicated, and I say, hey, let bygones be bygones. Would you let bygones be bygones?
We disagree all the time. So
No, but what I mean is, I'm not talking about disagreement.
Like you're cyberbullying me?
No, I'm talking about, well, never mind. Go ahead.
No, I mean, this whole thing, okay, so like this whole thing has been really weird for me, just having like JK Rowling is conservative coded now. As someone who grew up not being allowed to read or watch Harry Potter because it was of the devil.
Yeah.
Like, was that anyone else? Probably not. Yeah, my mom was like, there's witches and wizards in this. You can't read this, you can't watch this. So I'm not like one of those millennials that's all nostalgic for it, walking around like I'm a Huffle, whatever.
Yeah.
None of it means anything to me. But it's been very strange that now it's like because of this one issue, now it's all of a sudden I mean, you've pointed out that she's liberal, but a lot of people can't see that. I mean, we've entered
But who cares? This
exactly.
this is the most important issue to a lot of people, including myself. So I don't even care about her politics. I care about this moral issue in our time. It's like from where all other issues flow from. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends what segment of that or what aspect of that issue you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
biology.
Well,
if you
I'm
come
all
out
about
against
people living and let living. I'm all about that. I respect
not if they
your
compel
choice.
you. Not if they compel you
I'm not
to
done.
follow their rules.
But when did I say that?
You said live and let live.
But yeah, people can live. I was not done yet. People
Okay.
can live and let live and do whatever they want to do as long as it doesn't impact anyone else. And there's certain times when it's not a zero-sum game anymore, such as in sports and those kinds of things where there are these biological considerations.
I know. I think that goes without saying. I think that we all kind of say live and let live. We're aware this isn't that case. We're like how many years into understanding that it ain't live and let live? It's a mental disorder that compels people to obey a certain ideology that is inherently destructive, both to the person who has it and the people who somehow are obedient to it. Anyway.
I understand that a lot of people agree with you. I just respect any adult's choice to live their life the way that they see fit as long as it's not hurting anyone else.
Keyword there is adult. Tyrus.
Well, to answer the first question, if you and Kat turned on me and I ended up being right, would I forgive you? Kind of.
Thank you.
I would forgive you, but anytime I needed something, I would bring it up.
Yes.
I am more concerned with the sheriff and his messaging. It was very confusing to me because he talked about prostitutes that you order and then you cuddle with them, which is confusing because, to quote the great Charlie Sheen, he didn't pay him for sex, he paid him to leave. Mm-hmm. So if the prostitute is staying and cuddling with you and giving you positive reinforcement, is that a deluxe package? Do you ask for that?
Cuddles.
You know, and like, for example, like my wife doesn't cuddle and give me positive reinforcement. Would it be okay then to hire a prostitute for just the back rub and have a great day? I mean, where do we, I'm just confused. I didn't know cuddling was part of the prostitution code. I thought it was like, boom, get out, take a shower, cry, ask yourself why you did it, swear you're never gonna do it again, you're better this, and then all of a sudden it's Wednesday again and you're in the mirror going, I swear to God, this is the last time I'm gonna do this.
The voice of experience.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.